me.
You were really in a dunk contest.
I was. So this was on par with the NBA All-Star dunk contest, by the way.
Okay.
We had a guy go from the free throw line. This was a county All-Star, just a county.
This is Mount Vernon?
Skagit County All-Star game, senior year. So they select 5 dunk contest participants.
Yeah.
Like my sophomore year, I could get up like easy, bouncy. And then I started putting on weight, like you don't become as bouncy, you become a little more just. And so do you remember those shoes? They weren't quite the ones they had on Seinfeld, those ones that are platform a little bit. You remember back in the day? I forget that one.
The shoes to boost your calves? They had a string shoes. String shoes.
Thank you. So I went out and bought some knockoffs that strap to your shoe.
And
for
there goes your ankle.
3 weeks leading up to it, I was in the backyard doing hops, these jumps in order to get your
calves activated.
Yes. And then I'm at school doing the little pressing thing with it. So here I come. I think the best dunk that I put down, someone like slapped the backboard while dunking. Well, I was going to rock the cradle and come from under the hoop and put it in.
Yeah.
First attempt, rim checked.
Bah! Did the people walk around and be like, hung?
Rim checked hard. Next one, I'll go from the other way. So kind of this turn around. I think I hit the side of the backboard while trying to get in there.
0 for 2.
What do you do when you're 0 for 2 and you only have 3? What's the next dunk you do?
You throw the ball to the ref or the competition and just sit down.
No. You got to get one in. I did the lob to yourself where the ball ends up maybe a foot below the rim, so you're only boom. That's about what I heard from the entire.
And then you held your trophy up?
No, I went home and put those strength shoes back on. That is my dunk contest story.
I love it. Hello and welcome to Big Ben and K Winn. The real winner of the Super Bowl is you, because we will not be talking about Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, or Patrick Mahomes on this podcast because we can't stand the Chiefs. I'm still gutted from that Niners loss, but you know what? I'm using that to focus in on the NBA. Each week, we broadcast live on nofilter.net, Caffeine TV, and YouTube. Tonight, we're going to get into a little NBA. It's All-Star Weekend. Talk a little dunk contest. Talk about the Chalupa and high scoring in the NBA. Lakers, OKC, Warriors, and much, much more. I'm K Winn. He's Big Ben, and he is not in the dunk contest this weekend.
I am not. Can we? I can't wait to hear more about the All-Star festivities. All-Star games in general just become, no one can get it right. There should be a company that their whole sole purpose is to get an All-Star weekend where people are engaged, it's interesting, and players actually want to participate.
What would you rather watch? The MLB All-Star, NBA All-Star, or the NFL Pro Bowl?
Not the Pro Bowl, that's for sure.
You don't like dodgeball?
I do like dodgeball, but man, I'd rather watch no-name people that I don't know who they are try to nail each other for an hour than some Pro Bowl players. I think MLB does it right for the most part. I think they're the best. The home run derby in terms of competitions within All-Star Weekend, the home run derby has got to be neck and neck with. And I would say now, just with how many home runs are being hit, is probably exceeded or passed up the dunk contest, in my opinion.
I agree. Look at the dunk contest this year. It's Jaylen Brown, All-Star, highest paid contract with that max. Jaime Jaquez, a rookie, and 2 G League stars. It's Jaylen in the G League. That sounds like a bad Hulu reality show, but it's a true NBA TV show. I'm not going to watch.
Wait, that's the equivalent of Ohtani. Let's see, Corey Seager.
And your buddy Travers.
and
In the home
three
run
independent,
derby.
2 independent league guys. Yeah, like come on.
They might as well invite up college guys. They're on NIL money and have them participate. Like, what's next if NBA players won't get in the dunk contest?
There are people, unlike you and I, that are close to the league and probably know who these G League stars are and are really looking forward to this dunk contest. There is some, it leaves some unknown, right?
It doesn't, because the whole reason behind the dunk contest is to market your future stars. Mac McClung was great in the dunk contest, but he was back in the G League. Now we have 2 G League stars, and I don't know if either one of them will ever make it in the NBA. Gone are the days where you had Jordan, Dr. J, Dominique, Vince Carter. It's unbelievable.
I think there should be one where it's Drew Eubanks, Rudy Gobert,
Jonathan Kuminga. I'd love to see him in the dunk contest.
No, I was trying to go the opposite of that. Just give me the stiffest dudes in the league that probably can't, they can dunk, but it's going to be unimpressive and unentertaining.
Here's what they do.
All right. How about this? You, my friend, do run the dunk competition.
Okay.
Who are your 4? Like, you're bringing the heat. Like, this is put on. This is the dunk competition by K Winn.
Okay. I'm going Jonathan Kuminga. I'm going Shaedon Sharpe from Portland. I'm going Ja Morant. Zion won't do it. So my 4th would be, who could it be? I'm just going 3. That's it. That's all I'm going.
You can't even get a 4th.
That's all I'm going.
I love it. All right. Outside the dunk contest, NBA in general. Right now.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about it much.
I know.
At all. And now that your Niners lost, we can, rather than this being a Super Bowl lauding Shanahan and where does Brock Purdy sit in is he as good as Montana podcast, we're going to talk NBA. I noticed one thing today.
Okay.
There is if this is a horse race, if each division, conference, Western Conference and Eastern Conference, horse race, boom, out the gates. There is separation, obviously. But the biggest separation is generally right now in the East. Like, okay, there are 4 teams in the East that are horrible. Absolutely horrible.
And they're in the race?
No, they're not even in the race. There
are a couple that are horrible that are in the race.
Their horses, the horses are doing figure 8s behind the field. Like, that's how bad those teams are. I think you got San Antonio, Washington. There's a couple other putrid teams. The West is just far. The West is tough. The West is good.
There's some teams at the bottom of the West that aren't that good.
Yeah, but not like the East.
I agree.
The West stacks up. I mean, Portland did just score 14 points in the first quarter. That's it. I mean, that's bad. That's really bad. But where I'm going with this is, I think there's going to be like this upper echelon that's going to kind of separate. Call it like the Nuggets, Clips, OKC, and Timberwolves look to be
the 4 best in the West.
4 best in the West. So
Tier 1.
But then there's just going to be this battle between 5 through 8, really, from there. So there's 4 teams, 2 of which you probably can hitch your wagon to if you'd like, in the Golden State Warriors and the LA Lakers. But overall, I think the NBA, it's no different than every other year, but it's just, those teams are really bad. Yeah. Really bad.
I think the NBA is in a better place now because you've got the younger teams, the small market cities, the younger stars stepping up, like Anthony Edwards in Minnesota and our boy Shea, SGA in OKC, and LeBron and Steph. What are they, like 9 and 10 right now at the bottom of the West? KD and Booker. Beal can't stay healthy, so they're going to stay in that 5, 6, or 7 slot. This is a great time for the NBA. Even if you go out east, you've got Jalen Brunson. Like, Remember we got on this podcast and me and you are like, what are they doing? Signing him to that contract. Now that contract actually looks like a good deal because of what he's doing for the franchise.
Well, and I mean, you just look at the addition. I don't think they have this statistic in basketball where it's wins above replacement, or if you added him to the team, what would it result in additional wins? They sucked every ounce of capacity out of Julius Randle. Like he took him as far as they were going to go as option one.
Yeah.
And then to bring in Jalen Brunson, who's a New York type, gritty, get in your body and one type of guy. I mean, it's resulted in to thus far the Knicks taking that next step effectively.
Yeah. They made some moves, which I like. OG Anunoby, he's shored up the defense, and then they went even further and got some vets off the bench. So I know we don't talk about East Coast teams, but you've got the Knicks, you've got the Cavs, you got the Celtics.
Yeah, I wish the Knicks were good while we were there. Just a season.
Yeah.
Just one season. All right. Give me to the Clips.
Yeah.
Six players averaging double figures or better.
Yeah.
Outside of Zubac, those other five are Westbrook, Powell, Kawhi, Harden, and Paul George.
And you know what I love? You know what I love about all those? We should really become a Clippers podcast. They are all California, more specifically Southern California high school ballers. Like they all played in LA or around LA, and they're all playing not for their hometown team, the Lakers. They're playing for the stepbrothers, the Clippers. But maybe we won't be calling them the stepbrothers if they keep playing like this.
Well, if there's any season to capitalize on what's going on with the Lakers, I think didn't we just have Anthony Davis come out and said this is kind of who we are, this is our identity, and
a 9th seed,
right? That's what I said. Like, this is what you're gonna be. It's just they have won 6 of 7, but LeBron's on the downside. Anthony Davis is still. I mean, he's probably got 2-3 more years in him. Yeah. In terms of peak output, 25 and 12 type of guy. But the Clippers, like that, you and I both made the comment, like, come on, Harden, really, Ballmer, like,
yeah.
Ballmer,
how are all these stars going to fit together?
Ballmer broke ground on that new stadium, and it was one of those like, okay, you're either like, this is either the move that's going to be the catalyst into like, okay, let's build this thing out, or it's going to be the move where the shovels don't move anymore.
Yeah.
And it's been like Harden's fitting that somehow. It's like I don't know how. I don't know.
Everything that we thought what was going to be wrong with the Clippers is what's right with the Clippers. And what I mean by that is like dominant ball handlers. Everyone needs the ball. Everyone needs to be the star. Everyone needs to be in charge. And they've somehow figured out a way to make it work. Russell Westbrook comes off the bench. So that relieves some of it. And Kawhi has gotten back to the level of play when he was in Toronto and in San Antonio. And that's been the biggest reason is he hasn't been out there. And when he's been out there, I don't think he's been 100%. And now he looks like the Kawhi of old.
And they can load management, not lose games. Like they now have enough. Like, it's kind of like 1A, 1A, A, 1A, B, there's not much difference between those top line scorers. So you can have a guy kind of maybe play 25 minutes, 26 minutes in a complementary role. And especially
case in point, they beat the Warriors without Kawhi and closed out the game, came from behind, down by 12. So you can rest some of your players, or if someone's in foul trouble, or if something happens, they actually have the depth.
I think we can hit pause on this. You can go get that Clips hat I know you have. Or do you want to get into how your Warriors are going to bounce back?
I want to talk Warriors and I want to talk Lakers. But before that, I want to talk about the Chalupa. If you think of 10 years ago up in Portland, Oregon, there was a promotion like if the Portland Trailblazers won and scored over 100 points, fan received a Chalupa from Taco Bell. And then all of a sudden, it's a copycat league, right? Other organizations are having promotions as well. The Bulls had a McDonald's. I think it was a Big Mac. You score over 100, you get a Big Mac. Fans were happy. If those promotions existed today, McDonald's in Chicago and Taco Bell in Portland would be out of business. Chapter 11. Like, I looked, every team in the NBA is averaging over 100 points. The lowest, it's like Charlotte, Portland, and I can't think of the other team. And they're all like 107 and 108. And that's just the way the NBA is going now. It's points, points, points. There is defense, but it's just offense is that much better in the NBA with all these spacing and shooters.
There's defense when you got to get a stop, right? We all like, you got to get a stop here. It's like, okay, now we'll play D. Every other time, it's kind of like it's trading punches, right? Uppercuts for jabs and jabs for right hooks. I don't see it changing though. Like, I that's the product. I mean, I'm sure Adam Silver has some sort of, real-time algorithm, like it's a trading algorithm that shows, fan engagement versus, points. And it's all it points to is the more buckets that go through the basket, the more people that come through the turnstile.
Yeah.
Gone are the days of clotheslines by Bill Laimbeer and, guys slapping the floor to take, to guard you full length. So
not happening. But this is how we bring it full circle. My Warriors, early on, they were too Steph dominant, not great on D. Now people have stepped back into roles. Clay's taken a little bit of a backseat. Some of their rookies or stars have taken the next level, but they're still having problems stopping people at crucial points in the game, like against the Clippers, up by 12, couldn't stop them. Against the Lakers, that epic MVP battle between LeBron and Steph, the Lakers came back and scored. And where we bring this full circle, look at the teams on the top. Celtics play defense. Cavs play defense. OKC, Minnesota play defense. The Nuggets, despite what you think, play defense. The Clippers are able to overcome Westbrook and Harden with team defense. And that's why I think the Warriors are just like your Eagles. They're going to be one and done if they make it to the playoffs.
I think that's due to resources, right? Like there's as weird as there's top line just superstars. Yeah. And then you got your like Chris Middletons and kind of, a little bit Anthony Simons, like these guys that are kind of below the top line of megastars in the NBA. But those are the guys that do play defense, that do keep things together, that can get stops, and can go out and guard. Like, you look at the Warriors, and I don't think Clay's got it in him to go guard the top scorer again. You need him scoring.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do both in today's NBA. And I think that's going to be the demise of the Lakers, too. Like, Anthony Davis, towards the end there, I think of last season, they asked him to go guard the best player regardless of position. And if that's the only way you're going to get stopped, like, you're just going to get. These guys are exceptional athletes, but that's a tough ticket to handle.
Yeah, you're not going to shut a team down for a full game or a full quarter, but at the key points in the fourth quarter, you got to be able to make a stop. I don't know if the Warriors can do it now, and you're seeing these younger teams with Karl Anthony Towns, Gobert, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniel, even Connolly. They're great. OKC, we talk about it all the time, but their three best players all play defense. Chet swiping away at the rim. SGA locks in. And my boy Jalen Williams from Santa Clara can guard anyone on the floor.
It's like they got it. Remember when just to make a football analogy here, not to poke you about the season that just happened, but remember when you used to watch and they'd have a goal line defense? Yeah. And it wasn't like not a single starter would stay in. It'd be like 11 new dudes would come on. And they all had a purpose. They knew where to guard and what gaps to hit. It's the same thing in the NBA. Like, down the stretch, you're superstar. You don't necessarily need to get buckets. You need to hold on the ball and take good shots and get stops. And I think the teams you just mentioned have that goal line defense kind of mentality with different personnel coming in outside of their superstars.
I agree. And if the Warriors have a shot, they need to put in their goal line defensive players and then do a hockey rotation back on offense.
That's been done. That has been done. All right, you did your job. Now you're in. Go score.
You're it. Just on the fly.
Okay. No cherry picking. The guy's got to be back across the blue line or the 3-point line in order to go in. Oh, I agree with you. It's the Warriors. So let's one more thing on the Warriors and the Lakers. Just bring this to a close. There was hints of LeBron maybe going to Golden State. Was this confirmed? What sources were these?
Brian Windhorst on ESPN, and supposedly Draymond. Well, Draymond and LeBron have the same agent. Supposedly Draymond texted Cliff Paul, or what's his name? I don't know. Rich Paul, but LeBron shut it down. Here's my thing with LeBron. He's like the guy who wants to get married 4 or 5 times. And he's also like the girlfriend or the wife that likes to just stir the pot. Like his post with like the hourglass, or he has the Knicks towel, or I want to play with my son. Like he's just always poking to see if the team is invested. It's like that wife who just needs to know that you care and needs to cause a little tension in the relationship. That's LeBron.
Also, yeah, when you walk back into the facility the next day after that happens and you didn't get traded, we're so glad to have you, LeBron. You know, the carpet gets rolled back out effectively for you. I get where you're going. I believe there's an argument I was watching. I don't know what program it was on. It was on ESPN. I don't know if it was First Take, but they're arguing about if Steph Curry is still a guy you built around. You're a franchise player. You know, okay. Is he option 1A? You know, that he's the epicenter of what you're trying to do. And their argument was, I think, I don't know. I mean, is he so one-dimensional that, you know, his usefulness or his effectiveness is not where it was without others around him? I mean, I don't know.
Well, that was my earlier point. He's playing great, but they're two-step dominant. And if you watch all these games, you need him to come through in the clutch, and he's getting older. And is he able to score 40 points every night in the playoffs? They don't really have someone who could be the 1B who can get like 26 or 27 so that Steph can have an off night and score 28. Like, that's what they're missing. Like, they don't have KD. Clay isn't playing at the same level. So, like, I think you can build around him if you had that 1B of that person coming up. And I think that's what they hope Jonathan Kuminga would be. But he's just quite not there yet. And I don't know if he will get there.
Clay, they miss Clay. I think Clay is, ever since he got injured, you know, it's just, you haven't seen the same Clay. Yeah. You've seen glimpses, but you haven't seen the consistent same Clay. And I think that, to your point, affects Steph because he has to pick up some of that load.
Yeah.
That scoring load, right? And yeah, I think the hindrance of what you're saying, right? Steph, you're exactly right. Steph needs a crutch.
Well, let's do the what-if scenario, right? We go back when the Warriors drafted Jameis Wiseman, and Anthony Edwards supposedly had a bad workout, and that's why they didn't want him. If they had Anthony Edwards right now, like, you could see Steph going like, all right, I only have to score 28 tonight.
Right, exactly. Give me every spot up 3 that I can hit. Yeah, I could fall asleep out here and put up 27, 30 points easily.
But they don't have that, and so he's got to do it all. Just like LeBron's got to do it all for Lakers, and that's why both, I don't believe, will make it very far.
I agree.
Should we wrap this up?
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
Good NBA feeder. Just tickled.
Great.
I can't wait to come back in 3 weeks and talk about the dunk contest.
We'll be here Monday night, so we can talk about it then.
Well, it's All-Star Weekend this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. We're doing potty training. I can just sit on the couch and watch the skills competition.
Yeah.
Oh, the 3-point contest is actually up there.
I actually like the 3-point contest more than the dunk now.
Agreed. Is Ionescu? Is she gonna?
I thought she was doing something against Curry.
They should bring in Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Plum, Ionescu, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson,
and bring back Ray Allen. You know he can still shoot.
Ray Allen, Steve Kerr, Craig Hodges, Reggie Miller, Mark Price, Dale Ellis, Larry Bird. Let's bring back that would be an amazing idea.
Yeah.
Bring back legends of the 3-point contest.
But only do like 3 racks because I don't know if they could make it all around.
Right. Yeah. 3 racks.
Yeah.
Maybe you have like a team competition supplementary. There we go. We're consultants for the 3-point competition.
Should be.
All right. You can find us wherever you get your social media fix, or if you get all X at Big Ben K Winn _, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. We're everywhere. And then find us if you like listening to podcasts on Stitcher, iHeart, Spotify, or Apple iTunes. And if you like to watch us, you can get us on YouTube. My daughter actually asked me when she was going through Mickey Mouse and there I was. It's kind of interesting. We watched 4 times just to validate. YouTube. We also have Caffeine TV, and then we got right here on No Filter Network.
And we got a new sponsor, Beach Life, May 3rd through the 5th in Redondo Beach. We live the beach life. You should live the beach life. Scan that QR code to find out more. And we're out.
Boom.